Hey TechTalk viewers, this is my unboxing and setup of the new Orbi Wi-Fi 6 router system. This is brand new, hot off the press. Just got it from Best Buy today. We've set it up, and I can tell you this is an instant disappointment. Yeah. This is the AX6000 RBK852 model. This is the RBK852, and the satellite is the RBS852. This system was touted and is touted as the next generation of Wi-Fi. It has a fast AX802.11ax or Wi-Fi 6 backhaul that is supposed to be able to stream 8K video now through the connected devices. Orbi 6 is the wave of the future. Orbi Wi-Fi 6 is going to be the wave of the future if you have supported Wi-Fi 6 devices. Now, we do have some devices, including a laptop and 2 iPhones, but unfortunately, these are not the things that need our Wi-Fi connection. We have 2 desktops upstairs that I'm sitting at, one of them. We have a Ethernet connected lab in the main floor that wires to the router, and then we have an entertainment system with the television with streaming content in the living room. And right now, our current setup was these RBS and RBK50 models. Yeah, these were the RBS or the RBK50 models that came in the 3-pack. You see them all the time at Costco. They worked exceptionally well, although sometimes when we had too many devices on the network, it got congested and slowed down, and we had some data, some timeout and server disconnects. So that's why I was hoping, hey, maybe increasing the bandwidth of the backhaul, we can network our devices better. But here's the catch. This guy came in a pack of 3 with 2 satellites and a router. This is only sold in a router and a satellite configuration. So a lot of people were asking, hey, can we, including me, I was asking the Netgear communities when this was announced, can we use these backward compatible with the base system, so at least we can have multiple satellites on the backhaul that can connect via Ethernet, which these had plenty of, and even had network attached storage USBs to the new RBK852 or the Wi-Fi 6 Orbi router. Nobody can answer that. Netgear did not choose to answer that, and I'll cut to the chase. I'm going to have different segments in this video that will show you what I found out as I set this up today. That made me grossly disappointed, but I'll cut to the chase. No. And I don't know if that's going to be a software fix in the future where things can be added on, such as the RBS satellites in the future. But currently, the only satellite that seems to be detected is the RBS852. Here's the catch. You get one RBS852, and it's not even sold individually. So good luck matching your current Ethernet setup if you use more than one satellite, because you can't physically buy a second satellite except buying another 2-pack, and this runs $700. You're talking $1,400, a duplicate router that you don't need just to get a second satellite. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, right? Well, here's the other thing. If you're looking for features, a couple of things that I'll note right off the bat that I noticed. One, these new guys here, the RBS and RBK852s, do not have parental control. So forget about your circle. It is not implemented. Whether or not that remains to be implemented in the future, it remains to be seen. Armor, Netgear Armor, Bitdefender, router-based security, not an option. I mean, you can't even buy it. And that was something that we had a subscription to on this router, okay? We also used the Circle parental controls on that router. So everything so far is Spartan. It's bare bones. It feels like a beta hardware with no software support, and the only feature of the Orbi is basically it meshes between 2 devices and throws up a Wi-Fi 6 signal, okay? I didn't say 6 signal, a Wi-Fi 6 signal. which is helpful if you are streaming or are connected to a Wi-Fi 6 device. Now, that is true if you are connecting with devices attached to the satellite on Ethernet, which is my setup up here. So you're going to see some speed tests where it is notably faster. There's less latency by a couple of milliseconds. There's less jitter. The data transfer streams or curves seem more sustained on speed tests. Okay, it's not scientific, but again, it's just the gist of what we're experiencing here. But you also see subsequently in the video that because I lose one satellite, I have to revert my television to Wi-Fi. Well, the television's Wi-Fi is 802.11, who knows? It's 2 years ago. It's not Wi-Fi 6. So unfortunately, my content that I'm streaming on Vudu that you'll see, which is in 4K, now has to buffer every 2 or 3 minutes. Whereas even on this, because of the backhaul before, it was streaming with minimal interruption. So how does upgrading to Wi-Fi 6 for double the cost leave me with one less satellite, buffering television, just to say that my scarce Wi-Fi 6 enabled devices and the lucky devices that actually get to plug into this satellite get faster Wi-Fi while trading off one, if you use the network attached storage with the USBs, they're gone. I don't use them, so I really don't care about that feature, but they're gone. Parental controls, I use them, they're gone. Bitdefender, Netgear Armor, I paid for it. It was value-added filtering. Well, it's gone. Whether or not any of this is going to be added back in is anybody's guess. I did open a ticket. I called tech support, which is free for the first, 30 days through Netgear. And I asked them, hey, guys, what's going on? Like, where are the features? What are the plans? Should I even keep this product? And you know what they said? Sorry, this product is very new. We don't have anybody trained for it. I cannot comment. I cannot help you. I don't know the features myself. Can I give you a call back? I left my number. That's all I got. So right now, after spending almost over $700 for this set of routers, this makes no sense, absolutely no sense to keep this, because despite what marginal gains we get in speed through the backhaul through Wi-Fi 6, it loses out on everything else, including number of satellites. So rather than wait for a satellite to be available just to get gouged another, what's 700 divided by 2? I'm guessing the satellite will be at least 350, in which case I have now spent over $1,000 for this upgraded mesh network. I'm just going to wait. I'm probably going to wait a couple years until Costco sells the Orbi Wi-Fi 6 in a 3-pack, and they've gotten all these features ironed out, because right now it just doesn't make sense. Okay, well, that is the gist of the whole review for the Orbi Wi-Fi 6 AX6000 RBK852. It's launching this week. Netgear says it's going to hit consumers October 28th. Amazon and Best Buy have already gotten it on hand. In my subsequent segments in this review, you'll see me looking at the scathing 7 reviews that we already see on Best Buy. And I'll leave an 8th one there just to give Netgear some incentive to actually work on this product before they dare gouge us again at $700 for the latest tech with unfinished features. I mean, this seems like the rollout pattern now, that you release an app and you add the features, add the levels, add the gameplay later. But the problem is those apps cost $1. This one costs $700, which is double the price of the prior generation. Can you tell I'm a little irritated? Well, I am. Check out the following segments in this video. You'll see me set up and compare this in size and dimensions, as well as ports. All right, this guy does add one more port over the prior set, or the RBS RBK 50s, but that extra Ethernet port on the new 852 is easily offset by the lack of a second satellite, so that's a no-brainer. You also see me use speed tests to test the transfer rates on my desktop that's attached to a satellite. And then finally, you'll see me read over the Best Buy reviews and demonstrate how my TV streaming on Wi-Fi connected to the Wi-Fi 6, albeit with an 802.11n or G or whatever standard was previous on that TV's Wi-Fi setup, struggles immensely to maintain streaming 4K content. So forget about 8K. That is a fool's dream. This is Dan. This is the Chan Clan and a Tech Talk review of the Netgear Wi-Fi 6 AX6000 RBK852 router series with an epic fail and a strong do not recommend purchasing this until this is ready for the prime time. Check out my next segments to see more details. Leave your comments below, subscribe, and voice your opinion. Hopefully this is a cautionary tale that reaches you before you invest in this. Thanks for watching. Okay, so we just moved upstairs where our satellite previously is, and you can see this is the previous Orbi. This is the Orbi RBS50, and the RBS50 a little rounder. Again, we have 4 Ethernet ports here, 2.0 USB port, power and sync button. Just to give you a size comparison, this one is the Orbi Wi-Fi 6 satellite. This is the previous generation. So this one is a little bit bigger. Width-wise, this one feels a little thinner. This one's a little bit more bulbous, but actually if you look at the thickness or the thinness, these are pretty comparable. Yeah, this one is a little fatter though. So they went with kind of a taller, sleeker look. In the back here, there is not the USB on the satellite. There are just 3 Ethernet ports. And actually there is no, oh, there's a sync button moved over here. Got it. I was like, where's the sync button? Let's see if they moved is there a USB port anywhere? So that is one thing that seems to have changed, that USB port is now gone. I don't even know what that USB 2.0 port used to be. I'm guessing that's for network attached storage or your NAS external disk. That's not too much of a problem since basically one of my desktops acts as a server for any shared files, and a lot of the files are now moving in the cloud. So that may be a feature that not so exciting anymore or needed, but that is a notable difference. There is no USB on these new devices. Now, it remains to be seen. There really is no documentation. Everything is basically off of a app. So we're going to set this up. But one of the questions that we have, 2 questions that I had that Netgear's community forums could not answer, is whether or not this guy is compatible or syncable to this guy. So we're going to check to see if this is backward compatible tonight. And we'll see the performance of this. Okay. What else? Yeah. So let's get this set up. All right, guys, this is one of my desktops that's hardwired to the old Orbi. So this is just hooked up to the old Orbi right here still directly before we switch this out. And we're just gonna run a speed test to see how this performs. This is not a scientific study, but this will show how the backhaul is working. We pay for 400 megabit download rates and 20 megabit upload rates. So any, any performance that's less than that could be attributed to any wireless issues. So we're showing that, hey, we're getting pretty good speeds here on the Orbi. Sorry for some of the aliasing on the screen here. We're seeing that, hey, this is Orbi last generation, doing pretty good. Run it again just for good measure. 13 ping. And again, this is to a local server, so if we go all the way to the West Coast, we are in Hawaii here. Sometimes we do have worse pings. But as far as the local server goes, check this out. We are getting our advertised bandwidth and better. And this is between a Orbi satellite and the router of the previous generation. So now we're going to switch over to Wi-Fi 6 and compare to see if this improves, which I doubt it will, just because it's so dang good. But one thing that we've noticed is that when we have 6 computers, all gaming, all streaming, all broadcasting, etc., we get drops. And suddenly these upper computers here that are hardwired or Ethernet wired to the satellite will intermittently lose connection. And that's telling me that we're probably having some backhaul congestion when we have too many devices on the network. All right, so let's take a look at what our Orbi Wi-Fi 6 does to change this, if at all. All right, guys, here's the bad news. Well, here's the good news. The good news is we just updated our routers to the Wi-Fi 6, and you can see that our backhaul is working a lot faster. Watch my jitter and watch my ping here. The ping is less than before, and my curve is virtually flat, meaning there is almost nothing but, data streaming up here in the download and upload phase. So we are getting faster performances by far, more consistent, I guess, just in this non-scientific test of the connection. Again, the download speed kind of varies from test to test. We'll just see it again here, but we're just getting almost 500 in a second ago here. See if this gets any better. Yeah. So kind of just depending on the connection here, we'll actually have a higher download speed here. But you can see kind of the data transfer stream here. You got less variance. There you go. But here's the downside. I just got off of technical support. You will not believe this. And I'm reading actually some of the Best Buy reviews. So if we go to Best Buy and actually look at some of the reviews on this router, this is like in real time. I have purchased this from Best Buy. This is probably some of the best data out there right now amongst verified purchases. Take a look at this. Simply does not work. Avoid this. Product was not ready for consumers. Yes, the worst router I've ever purchased. Major bugs. Still up for debate. Don't buy this if you have a Netgear Armor subscription. Hey, I do have one of these. I paid $50 for 12-month Netgear Armor subscription for router level protection, and this has absolutely no support for that. Worst router ever is the second one. I don't know what that means. Not too much to say that's angry. This is my second one. I'm sorry, that's your second one. This is my 10th, 20th one. Works for me. So 1 out of 7 guys have found that this works. Most of these guys are having a hard time connecting the satellite. I actually didn't have too much problems with connecting anything as far as these things synced well. The thing that I saw that bothered me was there is no backward compatibility with the RBKs and the RBS 50s. So if you have one of these 50s, it's good for nothing, basically. Now, the backhaul technically should be backwards compatible with these new Wi-Fi 6 routers, but it is not. Whether or not this will be addressed in software in the future is to be determined, because Netgear has basically said that this has launched with stripped features. And they're the ones that actually told me after placing a service call that this guy over here is not fully equipped by software. And here we are, we're gonna enter in our basic features here, and without enabling all my password data for you. All right, here. This is what we have, okay? So we have a basic stripped down feature set of, again, guest network, add Orbi satellite. Here's my question, guys. If you're gonna add an Orbi satellite right now, and it has to be a RBS850, and I just checked, Netgear doesn't even sell the RBS850 except for this bundled pair, then you're gonna end up having to spend another $700 just to get a second satellite. So I don't know, because my second satellite, the satellite I am using is connecting up here into my computers, but what about the TV? Am I really gonna get 8K performance over Wi-Fi? All right, guys, we are now switched over to Voodoo on Wi-Fi. This used to be on our second Orbi satellite and wired by Ethernet. And even with that, sometimes we would get some buffering when we streamed 4K. We have some of these titles in UHD, so let's kind of load this up and see how this fares on the new Wi-Fi 6 connection here. Noting that we are just using standard Wi-Fi, just because the TV is not a Wi-Fi 6 device. So we'll note that we do have UHD here. UHD. See if we're buffering. Let's jump ahead to a random chapter here. Can it maintain the stream? That's the question. We have good internet speeds. If the back, again, this is not even the backhaul right now, right? Because this is just Wi-Fi. I don't like this buffering. That tells me we're struggling. Loading 4K content here. And we're kind of checking out whether or not this ends up buffering. There you go. Again, this Wi-Fi setup is not going to work because we need another satellite to basically backhaul this to the router for bandwidth, because these devices for your TVs, the Wi-Fi is 802.11, whatever it is, G, N, whatever. It's not AX, it's not Wi-Fi 6. So if it's not Wi-Fi 6, this is what happens. You get buffering because despite how fast your Wi-Fi 6 router is, this is connecting at legacy speeds. There is no benefit to a satellite here. So essentially, I need to invest in another satellite to recreate my previous setup in order to maintain the same speeds or have an improvement in the backhaul. I don't know if this is that beneficial. Certainly not $700 worth. And I'm a little disappointed by, again, one, the lack of having the same number of satellites. Why couldn't they have included two? Why don't we even have the option to purchase a satellite? And, where's the features of all this? So there you go, another buffering. This never buffered before when we had an Ethernet connection that was to the satellite. And you can actually go and see. I just demonstrated two bufferings because we had to turn off our Orbi RBKS852, which otherwise used to form you can see the network cables used to be Ethernet to the rest of the system here. So unfortunately, this is an absolute failure of a product right now. It is not ready for prime time. It needs to have multiple satellites. And frankly, I don't know if this is something that's going to go straight back to Best Buy as a product return, because this is an epic fail. So, we'll give you an update as to what Netgear states about what the rollout plan for this product is. But in the meantime, this is an inferior product and not recommended from over the previous generation of Orbi products.